guys remember, during the Game Awards, the Yakuza series creator Nagoshi, he has his own studio now called Nagoshi Studio, and apparently they're reporting like they're facing a closure, like they're gonna close the studio, and they will not be able to produce the game that they announced at the Game Awards called Gang of Dragon, which is basically like exactly what it seems like, just like another Yakuza game, which I was happy about, because like, listen, I'm not gonna complain if I get a good story, you know what I mean? And the trailer looked really cool and I really liked that. And yeah, apparently they're losing all their funding because their publisher is NetEase, which, you know, that's a whole other can of worms. But anyway, they're pulling out funding for it. So basically, they don't have enough money to finish the game. I don't know when they were supposed to release I don't think they had a release date for Gang of Dragon, but apparently they need $44.4 million to finish the rest of the game. And I know people say, you know, like, oh, why are you announcing the game so early? Like, you know, you've seen that with trailers where they have no release date or anything like that. People get pissed off, like, oh, why are you announcing it if you're not finished it, or you don't have it planned to be released now? The reason why a lot of game developers put out trailers before a release date or before it's supposed to come out is mainly because they're looking for additional funding, because they need to test the crowd. It's really dumb, but they need to test the crowd to be like, how's the reaction of people? Do they want this game? So since a lot of people have been, you know, at least in my opinion, people in the Yakuza community have been very excited about Gang of Dragons, so you figured that they would get funding for it, or like NetEase would be like, oh, lots of people really like this, let's keep doing it. But apparently that wasn't enough of a reason for them to stick around, which I find very weird. It's disappointing that it's like that, and that's kind of like the reality of the game industry right now, where majority of the time publishers don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they're not one developing the game, or they're not a gamer themselves. They just see like, oh, is this going to make money for me or not? That's basically what it is, which is why, you know, in recent couple of weeks, like High Guard, for example, didn't do too well. And then they just shut it down instead of trying to like fix the game and like continue it, because they don't have any funding from their backer. And that's just kind of like the deal of how gaming is right now. A lot of publishers are like, or executives too, I should say, if it's not making money, just shut it down. Who cares? Pretty much. So it's just, I don't know. I'm disappointed, because I was looking forward to that. I thought it was hilarious that he called it Gang of Dragon. First of all, I thought that was so funny. It sucks that it's like that, you know? I don't know how else to say other than it sucks. I did a deep dive into Gang of Dragon. What we saw in the Game Awards was a clip from a movie the actor already filmed. They just redid the CG for. Oh, really? That's very interesting. I did not know that. He's gonna find funding. I believe he will. I hope he does. I really hope he does find funding for the game. It would be really nice, you know, because I feel like a lot of, especially story driven games, at least in the eyes of the publisher and the eyes of like CEOs and executives, they don't see it as like marketable, because when you think of like a story driven game, like, oh, you're only gonna play for a couple of hours and then never see it again. But I feel like, given the landscape of recent games, story driven games have always been the catalyst of like success. Like, again, I always bring up this game, and I'm sorry that I do. It's just the one that I always think about is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It is not an online game. It is a single player story game, and look how well that did. You know what I mean? That's why I don't understand these freaking executives, that they don't realize like, hey, maybe we should invest in studios that work on story driven games. I don't know, like, look at recently freaking Resident Evil that just came out a couple of weeks ago. Look how well and successful that game is, and that's a single player game, and they're still like, let's make an online game and make people pay for it, and microtransactions that will make us so much money. Like, they're doing the total opposite, which I don't understand. I really don't, and it pisses me off. And it's been like this for years, for a long time, and it's awful. Nagoshi needs 10 billion yen, yeah, pretty much. Their business strategy is about short-term revenue. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's a tragedy. The the whole gaming industry is like a mess. I know there's been like really good and positive things in the gaming industry in recent years, but there are a lot of messes and a lot of like, I don't know, the only way I can think about it is stupidity. Elden Ring is a very good example too. I just started a new playthrough recently and it's still enjoyable. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, maybe, okay, for example, I just finished Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm not gonna play it every day, but you know what, in a couple of months I'm probably gonna come back and play it again. That's what I've done. Like Player Obscure, I came back to that game every like couple of weeks. I would come back and be like, I'll just play something. Because there's like, you know, a bunch of side missions you can do and challenges in the game, and like I still play that game every once in a while. So that's why I don't understand their logic. But yeah, I hope Gang of Dragon pulls through too, because like I was so excited. I was like, wow, another like story-driven action game, because we lost Sleeping Dogs. Can I just say that was the other one, like aside from Yakuza? I was like, I love Sleeping Dogs. I hope they make another one, and then they didn't do it, and I'm so upset about that because Sleeping Dogs are so underrated. And then I was like, wow, Gang of Dragons, there's another thing I can look forward to, and it's gone. And after, no offense, RGG, you know, I love them, you know I do, but I don't like the way that they're going about the direction of the series right now. Like, one with Yakuza Kiwami 3 is a mess. Dark Ties was, in my opinion, unnecessary, and the ending of that, I'm sorry, it pissed me off. I mean, if you watched my stream, I made a whole rant at the end. I just don't like where the genre of, like, you know, the I guess Japanese crime syndicate is going, because Yakuza is the only one that we have, and then Gang of Dragon could have like rivaled that, and maybe we don't know if it would have been goofy or not, because you know, original Yakuza was goofy. They it's always been a thing like that, but to me, at least, looking at the trailers, Gang of Dragon looked like something serious. Not saying that they couldn't make any jokes, but it would be nice to see something like, you know, more gritty and serious with that, because like, as much as I love the wackiness of Yakuza, sometimes I'm just like, can we move on from the dumb joke? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm getting older, I don't know, but that's how I feel sometimes when I'm playing those games. I'm just like, oh god, here we go again with another like stupid joke. Yeah, we definitely need more story-driven fighting games that isn't part of RGG Studio Yakuza. Yeah, exactly. It's nice to have a variety. That goes for any genre too. It's not just, you know, specifically like the crime syndicate of Asia. It's just like any genre. We need variety to keep it more interesting. Even though the Yakuza series is my favorite, I don't want it to be the only one, is my point. I welcome like new perspectives and new storylines and new studios too. Even though Nagoshi is not like a new person, like he's been in the industry for like a long ass time, but it's just nice to have something different. Yeah, I wanted the old Yakuza formula, and that's another thing too. Even though I love the turn-based stuff about the new Yakuza game, I know a lot of people prefer not the live action, sorry. A lot of people prefer the beat 'em up gameplay. And we talked about this too during my Dark Ties playthrough, how it just feels like RGG doesn't know what to do in terms of like fully committing to like the new gameplay, like the new protagonist, Ichiban, the new gameplay, turn-based, or going back and appeasing old fans, beat 'em up style, keeping Kiryu around even though he was supposed to be gone in Yakuza 6, but they keep bringing him back. So it just feels like nobody wants to commit, and that's the shameful thing about it. But the whole point of me talking about this is just like, I'm just saying it's very disappointing to see certain things like that. I just wish publishers and CEOs and people who are like funding these things realize where the money actually is if you cater to your crowd. Not saying online games are bad, you know, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any or anything like that. Of course there should be, but they need to stop wasting money on stuff that people don't like. And I'm not trying to be mean, because if you liked High Guard, that's okay, like there's nothing wrong with that, but games like High Guard and like Concord, I feel like people don't want those games right now. The mindset is like they're after what happened back in like 2016, 2018, 19-ish, when we're in 2026 and people's mindset is very different, especially about how they play. Like, I know my mindset about gaming is very different now too, to the point where the only time I can play a video game is when I'm streaming, because I don't have time in my personal life, because I'm a mom now, and it's like that's my priority. And then after I get off stream, I go to bed, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have time to like do that. So when I see games also, like, not just online games, but when I see other games where it's like you need to spend 50 hours like collecting grass or some crap like that, I don't have time for that. I'm totally fine with a game being like 8 hours. People were complaining about Resident Evil Requiem being so short, and I was like, I don't think it's short. I think it's a good length, you know? I don't think there was anything wrong with that, but that's just me. And my whole point, getting back to the publishers and CEOs and people who invest in gaming, they're trying to go after something that is not really the main thing right now. People have changed their opinion. That is just how it is. Because you can relate to trends, how internet culture is. Like, even me being a streamer and stuff, like what I used to stream back in the day will not cut it right now. People are not really interested in that. It's like, you have to know your audience, and they freaking don't. I'm gonna end my rant right there, but yeah, I hope Nagoshi gets some backing for it, because Gang Dragon looks so interesting, and I'm so disappointed that they decided to pull the plug like that. So stupid. So there you go, the end.